All right, so we're going to look at putting in some commentary. The last video talked about changing some of the properties and the color schemes, etc. But when it comes down to actually putting in the text that you want for a particular rung, you're going to need a different editor. So to access it, you double click on it until you see the flashing cursor and the I-bar. And you may or may not have noticed that up here, this floating menu, drop-down menu, is for the text editing. Now it's going to go to the default one that you set up, but you might want, for a particular reason, I don't know, maybe this is a header rung, maybe it's that important that you want to really have some punch. You can use this to change the type of font that you're using. So it's got narrow, I don't want that. Here we go, these are the ones we want. Let's just to be foolhardy, and I'm going to really crank up the volume. So you can not only change the size of the font, you can make it bold, you can justify it. So you can see that if you don't even like the color you still have to go back to that properties, and you can see here it does not appear. You have to go in via the back door. I hate to call it the back door, but you basically have to get in, try to find a way. If you don't, well, gotta go back to that whole putting in a branch. It's not intuitive, which is why I'm making this particular video. And then once you're in the branch, you can turn around and say, oh, there's my comment text color. I don't like green. I want it to be, say, a blue color. Dodge blue, sure, that'll work. Notice it didn't change it. This is what can be very frustrating with the interface. The next one should be the blue, but at any rate, you can, as soon as you start editing this, it should, let's see what color it comes up. No, it's still green because it thinks it's green. But you can change the font and text this way to make it easier to see. And there might be times within a certain statement. I've done this before. Right after the first line, go back to Arial. Now the other thing you're going to find with it is it's going to get truncated, and sometimes, depending on where you are, you can find the editor can behave oddly. You'll want to go and change something, and for some reason your text disappears. You've got to go backwards. You've got to press the space bar. It's maybe frustrating, and you'll get used to it. Just like I'm trying to change this font and finding it frustrating, but at the same time, you can't ignore. You can't say, "Oh, I'm not doing that because I don't like the way it works." You've got to learn to work with it, because rung comments are absolutely mission critical. Okay, so that's our text editor.